name's Lucy Stonehill. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BridgeU. It's our mission to bridge the gap between school and the future for Generation Y students. So I think it's helpful to start with a little bit of context into the operating environment behind BridgeU. There's a global revolution happening in higher education and skills development. And we think it's really helpful to think about what this revolution might mean for our students and what kind of a world this is creating for them. Firstly, it's creating a more competitive world. There will be 330 million more students enrolled in higher education by 2030. It's also creating a more fragmented world. So no longer is it the case that students would exclusively consider staying within their home country for higher education, or even considering applying to universities abroad. Increasingly, as higher education is also disrupting, you have the emergence of boot camps, satellite campuses, and that's creating a more fragmented landscape for students. It's also creating more complexity and choice for students. This revolution is also creating a more globalized world, right? So 7 million international students by 2030, students who will choose to study outside of their home countries. And then finally, it's creating a more uncertain world for students who want to understand how they can align their skills with the work of tomorrow. 85% of students will be employed in jobs by 2030, which don't currently exist, which haven't been invented. And yet, in spite of these changes, how students make decisions about their futures has not adapted to this new world. We still see with most schools a one-size-fits-all approach to college and career guidance. Most universities still employ or mandate complex application processes. Not surprisingly, this results in the same old outcomes for students year over year. And then college and career counselors typically work in isolation, so they aren't often afforded the opportunity to communicate or network with a peer group where they get to share learning and best practice. And the stakes are only getting higher, and it's our very strong belief that the cost of not adapting to this new world is getting greater, and that the schools who are adapting how they approach guidance are benefiting as institutions, and also they're benefiting the students and families that they serve. So what does adapting to this new world look like? We believe that adapting requires evolution, reinvention, and innovation on the traditional model. Evolution of the advisor's role. We think it's really critical that the college and career advisor, we reframe that role as someone whose efforts are as critical to driving student success and improving student outcomes as if that person were an educator within the classroom. We believe that reinventing the choice architecture that students are exposed to is also really critical, right? So for students, we believe it's critical to enable them access to the information and the technology to empower those students to discover personalized post-secondary pathways and opportunities that are aligned to that student's specific skills and strengths. And finally, we believe that this new world requires innovation in admissions and enrollment. The traditional kind of mechanisms for recruiting and marketing to students is just certainly not cutting it anymore, and we think that universities very much need to reconsider and reinvent how they market themselves to appeal to connect with Generation Y students. So this is why we built BridgeU. In the last 5 years, BridgeU has become the market-leading university and career readiness and guidance solution for global or international schools. We currently work with secondary schools in over 100 countries, from our offices in London, Madrid, and Hong Kong. And I think one of the things that's quite unique about being in a market leadership position is it gives you a perspective on how the market is operating or evolving. And one of the things that we see, which is a very exciting thing, is that schools are actively wanting to improve how they run their guidance programs internally. They're actively wanting to take a more whole school approach to embedding guidance within the classroom and within the philosophy of how the school and secondary school in particular operates. Part of this is ensuring that schools are equipped with a scalable guidance curriculum which maps to critical milestones for 14 through 18-year-olds. And at BridgeU this year, we've pioneered our own version of this curriculum, absorbing best practice from across our school community. And we're enabling schools access to that. And of course, within the context of our platform, there is guidance-based exercises and activities that students navigate through. But we've also designed a series of lesson plans so that schools can actively embed the philosophy of guidance more effectively within the classroom. Finally, one of the pieces that we're also really working on is understanding how we can empower our advisors to step up into a role where they're truly having an impact year over year. And so we've designed a series of products, one of which is a product called Insights we're just bringing to the market imminently, which helps schools really understand the drivers of student success and feed that insight back into their guidance program so they can improve performance and outcomes year over year. And the second is a suite of tools and partnerships which we're designing to help our advisors really understand how they can evolve as professionals as well. We're very excited about the changes underway this year. We hope you are as well, and we certainly look forward to sharing news and further updates with you as the year progresses. Thank you very much.